Hi everybody, Michelle from Michelle's Craft Corner here. In today's video, we're going to make not one, but two cards using the split card design technique and also using the brand new Celebrate Sunflowers bundle. It's amazing. You're going to love these. Let's get started. So here's a close-up of those cards we're going to be making today. Check it out. They're so pretty. Now, one of the secrets that you may not notice, though some of you might, is these were actually made at the exact same time. So that white background piece, we're gonna do it at the same time and then just cut it apart. So it's really not a hard card or two to make, but I think it just turned out stunning. Now, I will say that this split card design is not my original. I got the idea from another demonstrator, but I did come up with this design of it. So this is with the new Celebrate Sunflower stamp set and coordinating dies. I love this. It is so gorgeous. And that detailed sunflower just works perfectly, and it's not in camera, there we go, perfectly with this card design. So besides this, we're gonna be using a couple different colors and our Aqua Painter. We're gonna do some aqua painting today. So we're gonna be using the Crushed Curry. It's a beautiful shade of yellow, the Pear Pizzazz, Crumb Cake, and Real Red with our Aqua Painter. Okay. Our paper colors today, we're gonna go with that Pear Pizzazz. And you're really, to make both these cards, only gonna need one sheet of Pear Pizzazz and one sheet of Whisper White. Okay, and besides that, we're just going to need some adhesive to glue it together, and we should be good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and start making this amazing card. All right, so first off, let me grab that giant sunflower. Oh, I forgot to put the sticker on it yet. My son was a little too interested when I was putting that stamp set together, so I haven't lined that sticker back up yet. Here we go. I meant to have this ready to go. There we go. Okay, so sunflower on the block. I'm going to take the piece of Whisper White that we're not going to be using. So we're going to have one cut. Let me get this in frame here. So we have our Pear Pizzazz card base, so it's 8.5 by 11, cut and scored in the center. And then for our Whisper White, we're going to take one of those pieces and cut it, or take our piece and cut it at 5 1/4 by 8. Now this is going to be our background for our two pieces for our sunflowers. We're going to put that off to the side for now. And the other piece that's left is what we're going to use for our stamping. Okay, so we're going to have our sunflower ready to go and our leaves. She said, as she realized she did not put the leaf on the block either. All right, and the leaf ready to go. And we're going to stamp it with the Crumb Cake. Now the Crumb Cake just makes a really nice light shade for aqua coloring. It kind of makes it nice and natural. So we're just going to stamp that. Now, if you want it to be even lighter, you of course can stamp that off as well, but just so you can be sure to see it, I'm going to do full coverage so it's not too light. Off. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, and just stamp another one. So we're going to need two sunflowers. One is going to be our Crushed Curry and one is going to be our Real Red. So other one. And then for our leaves, now you can do as many leaves as you want for yours, but I really liked the 3 per card. I think it really looked pretty sharp. So we're going to do a total of 6 leaves. There we go, 4, 5, 6. So all of our leaves are stamped. So now we are done with the Crumb Cake. That's really all we need the Crumb Cake for, is our background. So if you don't have Crumb Cake, you could also use Sahara Sand. You could try it with the gray or one of the other colors as well. So let's go, oh, actually we do need it for the centers in a minute, sorry. to color that, or you can leave it open if you want. So actually we'll do the crumb cake first. So with aqua painting, what you're going to use is the stamp pad itself to paint with. So we're going to give the ink pad just a little squish. Now these don't have as much give as the older ones, so you do have to be careful, and it will feel like you're not getting much. Just open it up and you'll see just kind of a little bit of that smudge in there. Now, if you're not comfortable physically with doing the squish, you can always just do a drop or two of the re-inkers on the lid as well. Will work really well. All right, so we're going to take our aqua painter. Make sure you have some water in there. It doesn't need to be full because you're not using a ton of water. You can also do this on watercolor paper as well, but I found that if I go light enough with it, it's perfectly fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and I also like to use the back of my hand just to make sure the water's flowing and it's not just super saturated. And we're just going to kind of swirl that in there. Make sure that's in camera. Okay, good. And now I'm just going to go ahead and paint with it. Really, there's not a right or wrong way when it comes to this. You can always add more color, but it can't really take it away. But I always like to do kind of the darker areas first and then just pull that color out where I want it. I think that's pretty good for our crumb cake. Now you can always add more later, but I do want to just be careful that I just don't get it too wet. So we're going to set that aside for now. We're going to move on to our crushed curry. Same thing, giving it a little good squeeze right there. Have that nice little smush of ink in the lid. Now for doing the actual flower, what I like to do is kind of do the darker parts with some of those lines, those flower petal lines, and then just kind of spreading that color out on the petals. Now I'm going to fast forward the flower coloring and leaf coloring, but that's basically all I'm doing is going around those darker areas darker and the lighter areas just pulling that color, just being careful not to add squeeze or add too much water as it'll just naturally kind of come out. All right, let's do some speed coloring. Okay, there we have our basic sunflowers and leaves colored. Now you'll notice I did spend a little extra time on the red sunflower because I didn't want it to look too pink on camera. But you can add as much or little color as you want when you're coloring these. Honestly, I kind of like the Aqua Painter look, kind of that fun, streaky watercolor look. I think it gives it that realism. So next thing, we're just going to cut those out with those dies. Okay, now I have those pieces all cut out. I just ran them through my machine and we are good to go. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and grab that piece of Whisper White that we had from the beginning. This is cut at, yet again, 5 1/4 by 8. Now we're gonna cut this right down the middle after we glue our pieces. So what's handy is if you have a ruler to just draw a line at that 4-inch mark. Now this is really easy to erase later, but it kind of gives us a good guide for where we're going to be cutting and for placing our pieces. So let me put this on the bottom here. Here we go. All right, so it doesn't really matter. Let me pull these out here. So it doesn't really matter how you lay them out, because one is going to be top and one is going to be bottom. So I'm just going to do it like I did the first one. So we've got that. And this one's going to be on top, just like that. And I'm just going to tuck some leaves underneath, like that. And you can see it just coming together. Move that off to the side. There we go. Just like that. So isn't it so pretty? And if you didn't cut it straight, the white will kind of hide that with that nice little edge. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my liquid glue and just start layering pieces down. So we're gonna start with that red one, or whichever one you want to be your bottom piece. And make sure that the glue you grab does not have a clogged tip. All right, grab this other one. Every time I tell you guys. All right, here we go. So we got our red flower. That down. Okay. And I'm going to tuck some leaves under, so while the glue is still wet, it's pretty easy to just kind of slide them underneath, just like that. A little press down. This one over here. Same thing with the yellow crushed curry one on top. A little glue on my finger there. Right. Just add glue on our leaves. Stick it down. You can see you can add more leaves if you want, but I've found that doing, you know, the odd numbers tends to look the best. Okay, that's pretty good. Now at this point, if you have any of that pencil line showing, but you can see I really covered all of it. Not as a pen, not a pencil. There's the pencil. But I'm just going to go ahead and erase that real quick. Go. Pretty easy. All right, I'm going to make sure those are all down pretty good and flat. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Stampin' Trimmer. And as I said, we know that 4 is our middle point, so we're just going to line it up at 4, lock it down, and cut it straight across, nice and straight. And that is pretty thick, so I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! Put that off to the side. So now we're just going to add these. Oh, it's just so pretty. to our card base. Let's look at that. Just like that. Oh, I love this. And I think this would look good with, you know, any kind of flower color you wanted. And if you didn't have this gorgeous pear pizzazz, which you should, and I need to go order some more myself. You can also use like old olive, or you could go like a darker green, like the garden green would be really pretty too. All right, just like that. The other one. Okay, and so for this one, I'm flipping it so that everything is to the left. Okay. Make sure to give it that little bit of edge all the way around. All right, so last thing is to stamp our sentiment from this stamp set. Now there's some other good stuff on here too, so if you're not feeling congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful, thanks a bunch, know that you are loved, let's celebrate you. I think these are some really awesome sentiments, and I actually have, as of this video, a couple graduation cards to send, so I think I might do let's celebrate you for these next two. And turn these into unlikely graduation cards. Save some time, you know? All right, so let's go ahead and throw that on a block. Quick and easy. Let's see, that could go down there. Well, I didn't really leave myself enough room for that one. Maybe it'll fit on this one. Nope, all right. I will hold off the graduation cards for another day. We will do Know That You Are Loved, because that will definitely fit. I was spur of the moment deciding to do that, so of course I did not leave myself enough room for that bigger stamp. All right, so I'm just going to grab that pear pizzazz again. Let's move that off to the side. I gotta figure out where I want to stamp it, not upside down. There we go. Okay, so like here, here. I mean, there's lots of good places. I think this one's going to go right here. And don't worry if you mess up, then there's always, you can always stamp it on a punch and cut it out. Not that I'm going to mess it up, right? Ta-da! Oh, lovely. Okay. This one I'm going to do a little higher. I think I'm going to do right there. Lovely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this fun 2-in-1 card tutorial. All the product links to buy these awesome products are going to be in the video description below. So do check those out in my Stampin' Up! Store. And thank you as always for your support of my business. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.